Good Saturday evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pitt Football Game Day postgame. So I'm Mason Sapesky, your host here with you today. Just a heads up. While I still play around with this, I'm sorry that the camera looks a little strange or not the best today. I am balancing it. I'm in the middle of balancing it on a tape dispenser because sorry to burp. I figured it was too low for me. It was hard to see with the camera down that low, so I'm going to try to put it up a little bit so you can get a better shot of my eyes and my face as a whole while I talk to you. Obviously, you guys probably know this by now, but I mentioned in some earlier videos this week, my throat was still a little sore. I'm getting over a sore throat, so don't worry, I'm fine. Sorry if I cough a little on the show, but anyway, that's all I have. But anyway, moving into the show part now, the Pitt Panthers lost today to the Florida State Seminoles at home by a final score of 24-7. I promise I'm going to keep this one brief. I'm not going to go on a rant because there's no need to go on a rant for this game. The Panthers played really well, in my opinion. Defense looked great. The defense looked absolutely amazing yet again. The fumble on the first drive was awesome, and the stops on Jordan Travis were good. I didn't think Jordan Travis looked very good today for the Seminoles. Should have had a much better game, that's for sure. Definitely a disappointing day for him, in my opinion. Trey Benson looked good for Florida State, I think. And Travis, you can, I guess, like I'm doing now, criticize him for the day he had, but you can't go off on him really because he was without Keon Coleman, his best receiver, but good teams find a way to dominate even without their best players. And Florida State, they didn't dominate today. At least I don't think Florida State dominated today. Benson did good. I'm sorry that I forget names because I was looking at actually some of their players, see which ones I might like for the draft. Don't even get into asking me because no, I did see Jared Verse today, number 5, but he was not making as many big plays as I expected today from him. So I wouldn't say he's like, I'm not going to put the writing on the wall yet for him like I just did there with Travis, but he didn't impress me as much as I would have hoped today. So I was expecting more out of him, that's for sure. But he is big. He is a strong player, and that's important to know. So that's a good thing for any team looking to scout a guy like a Jared Verse for this draft. But anyway, though, now I did like number 0 for them, the receiver and the cornerback. The guy, and we'll get into this play in a couple of minutes, number 23 for Florida State. 0 on offense, 24 on defense for Florida State. They made their impact today for sure, and this helped the Seminoles for sure in this win. Let's get started then, shall we? Both these teams had little flukes at the beginning of the game. Florida State on the first drive lost the ball, fumbled, Pitt got it, and Pitt went for an out. There were a lot of free and outs and stuff until I think it was the second quarter, like the first drive of the second quarter, and this was where I think a lot of the problems started for Pitt. In the game, this hurt them, I think, big time. It's when Valou found a wide open Quantum Mumfeld, caught it, ran it all the way to the 2-yard line, was tackled by number 23, fumbled it, and was recovered by Florida State. And I just want to say something. Mumfeld made a great play there. But 23 for Florida State. That is what great football players do. What he did. So, I was researching him a bit. I cannot believe this, but I already forget his name. I'm sorry, buddy, but you played a great game. So, he was difference maker, I think, for the Seminoles. He made a big impact, and he made his presence known, for sure. I mean, that play, I think, swung the state of the game, because if we would have scored there, I think that would have changed things that would have provided the Panthers with a lot of hype. And they just didn't have that hype after that play. Although they did get some of that hype back when they did score a touchdown. Pitt did open up by scoring the first touchdown of the game. Took a 7-0 lead. And then Florida State, they drove right down the field back to make it 7-7. Florida State made a field goal to make it 10-7 at the half. Pitt started out with the ball. They didn't do anything. Florida State, I don't think, did anything. Later in the half, the Seminoles scored a touchdown to make it 17-7. And then in the fourth quarter, Seminoles just put it away, made it 24-7. Or no, they actually in the third, I'm sorry. Made it 24-7 in the third. Fourth quarter, there was no scoring. The game ended with a final score: Florida State, number 4 ranked Florida State 24, Pitt 7. Obviously, the quick things I mentioned, the defense played very well, I thought. It was a great effort by them, especially after the 58-point letdown last week to Notre Dame. Great effort on defense. Offense, it needs improved. I mean, 7 points is not going to win you a football game. And they need to understand that. I mean, it's the same for sure. So I think there needs to be improvement on offense. So yeah. And that leads me into my final part of this before I conclude today's show and talk about next week and actually the future. For sure, just a couple quick things. So yeah, here's the thing. Actually, we're going to start now with I'm going to, sorry about this, but I'm going to reorganize things. I'm going to talk about right now the future, and then we're going to proceed into next week's game. So, here's the deal, Panther fans. Right now, we're 2-7. You need 6 wins to get a bowl. 5-7 is not going to get us there. Today, the Pitt Panthers were officially eliminated from bowl contention. It's a shame, but we should take it as a learning lesson. Yes, it does feel like a punishment in a way, but we should take it for what it is. It's better, I think, to have no bowl than a crappy bowl as a 6-win team and say this was a successful season, because clearly it wasn't. Hopefully the taste of not experiencing postseason football this year really kicks in and it fires this team up to come back and do big things next year and to turn this ship around fast. On offense and just in general. We'll start out in general, then we'll proceed into offense. In general, now that we know we're not going to get a bowl game, I knew we knew this pretty much for a long time, but now that it's become officially official, it's time, I think, to play the kids. And you know what I mean by the kids. Freshmen, sophomores, returning juniors. See what you got in these guys. Give these people a chance. And I know I said it's about Christian Valu's development, but at this point, he had one big game. It doesn't look like he's anything amazing. I say at this point, let's see what we have in Nate Yarnell. And then at that point, see which of the two is the better option for 2024. Valu's had 4 games. He's won 1 of them. Sorry, I'm just trying to do some math. Jerkovic had 5. He won 1 of them. So it's not just the quarterback, it's the offense as a whole. But at this point, I want to see what Nate Yarnell has. To see what he can do. If he's the answer, fine. Perfect. If he's not, maybe Julian Duggar, the Penn Hills quarterback now, is the answer. Or maybe it's someone else we don't even know about. Bottom line is this. These two got to figure it out. Because Julian Duggar last night, Penn Hills beat Penn Trafford. They are a really good football team. Penn Hills put up 63 points on them. Guess who the starting quarterback at Penn Hills High School is? Julian Duggar. Guess where he's attending college to play football next year? The University of Pittsburgh. So let's see what Yarnell has. And if he confirms that he is not the answer, then I think at this point, next year, I don't care about bowl eligibility. I want to see Julian Duggar. And I want to see him develop. He might be the best thing Pitt has had since Kenny Pickett. Giving a guy like this the chance could mean a lot to the program. I want to see what Julian Duggar is. I did like getting Christian Valou, but at this point, I think it's time maybe to try someone else. You don't need to have a perfect quarterback by any means. Kadone Slovis was not perfect, but he got the job done last year. He took this team to a bowl. Kenny Pickett, up until his senior year, was not perfect. He took this team to a bowl most every year. Nate Peterman, by no means was perfect, but he took this team to a bowl. With Matt Canada as his offensive coordinator. Do you get what I'm saying? There is so much lack of discipline right now in this offense. And I like Frank Cignetti Jr. a lot. To be honest, he's one of my favorite coaches on this team, if not my favorite. But at this point, if you want to shake things up, unfortunately, it's a business. And you might say, oh, college sports, it's for the kids, it's for the kids. If it's not a business, and it's all for the kids, why did we introduce NIL? And why is all this conference realignment taking place? If it is, quote unquote, not a business. The answer is it is a business. And you need to win games. Because winning, not only does it attract recruits, it attracts students. I mean, look at the University of Michigan. And I'm just picking on this. I'm not saying that their sports success is the reason their academics are top notch. But consistently in college rankings, whether it be US News, AP, Princeton Review, whoever does these college rankings, every year, the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, Michigan, is a top-ranked college. You don't want to know why? Because there's a lot of smart people who attend the University of Michigan. You know why they are able to be ultra-competitive? Because a lot of smart people and a lot of talented people want to go to the University of Michigan. Do you know why they want to go to the University of Michigan? I'll tell you why they want to go to the University of Michigan. Because the University of Michigan is a great school. It has a nice campus. It's right outside of Detroit. And it has dominant athletics. People want to go to school. People don't want to go to a school that's going to consistently put up bad numbers. Don't get me wrong. By no means, Northwestern, for instance, they are the number 12th or 13th ranked institution in the country. By no means would a 2-10 football team stop people from going to an elite college. But Pitt is no Northwestern. Pitt is no Vanderbilt. That they can rely on people to go there solely because of their elite academics. And Pitt does have elite academics. Pitt has some of the best academics in the nation. If you're in the ACC, you have great academics. But I'll tell you one thing. A lot of people like to go to colleges that have good teams because they want to be a part of something special. I highly doubt that some people right now are. I highly doubt that everybody that's going to Georgia is going there because they love their program, they love everything about the campus, and they want to go there because it is a top-notch degree that will get you a job in any company. And don't get me wrong, I am not bashing the University of Georgia's academics. You don't think that these past two national championships for them in football have attracted some people to go there? I bet you they have. Building a good football team means you get more people that want to support you. And more kids, high school seniors, that want to enroll in the university once they graduate high school. So yes, college sports and college as a whole is a business. And back to the point I'm trying to prove. I like Signetti, but sometimes business decisions, unfortunately, have to be made. And I'm not picking sides in this scenario. But maybe something else needs to happen. That's all I'm going to say. Again, I am not picking sides in this. I just want Pitt to be better at football. If you get what I'm saying? So yeah, I think this offense needs a lot of work. And I think at this point you need to play the kids. You need to see what you have. And you need to start getting this team ready for next year. Because the ACC opponents list came out for next year. Want to know who's on it? And I'm not trying to badmouth these programs at all. There's a lot of good programs on this list. You ready? First off, let's start with Pitt's non-conference schedule because that's a bit easier to talk about. You open up against Kent State at home. Go to Cincy to play at the River City rivalry in Cincy this time. Backyard brawl at home against West Virginia. Home game against Youngstown State. I think we'll go 3-1. Conference time. Home games in the conference next year are against Cal Berkeley, Clemson, Syracuse, and Virginia. We typically play good against these teams at home. I can see us going 4-0. That puts you at 7-1. The road games. Boston College, North Carolina, SMU, and who's the other one? I'm blanking on this one. Why am I blanking on this? Oh my gosh. I don't think it might be Louisville. I have a funny feeling it's Louisville for some reason. Yeah, it might be. So say it's Louisville. I can easily see Pitt rebounding next year and being 8-4. For sure. Actually changed Clemson from a win to a loss. This team could be 8-4 next year for sure. That's a start. So maybe Valu is the guy. Maybe you need to keep developing him. Bottom line is this. This season's a lost cause. Today didn't go too bad. Today wasn't the reason we're not going to be at a bowl game. I think we played good today. Reminded me like the North Carolina game. The games that really upset me were the games like that we should have won. Cincinnati. WVU. Wake Forest. I'm not going to say North Carolina or Virginia Tech because I think we legitimately lost those both. I think we legitimately lost Notre Dame, and I think we legitimately lost Florida State. We should be at 5-4 right now. With a chance for bowl eligibility cleanse next week. The reason we're not is because of some dumb decisions on offense. And I don't want to tear up this program or rip it because I truly love this program and I don't like to tear into anybody. But I do think it's important for me to tell it as it is. So this is definitely an interesting time for sure for Pitt football. So yeah, this season's over at this point. On to next year, I'd say. But we are still going to have coverage for the last 3 games of the year. And that begins tonight with a game, and that begins next week on Veterans Day with a game at Yankee Stadium against the Syracuse Orange. Like Pitt, the Orange are struggling. They have not won a game since September 23rd. The last 5 straight. Speaking of not won a game since, I realized this a while ago, but it still holds true. Cincinnati's last win was on September the 9th against us. Unbelievable. And we lost to them. This is insane. Not good. And it shows you how bad this season is truly on. That right there. Especially considering that a team that is better than them played worse against West Virginia than we did tonight in BYU. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, though, back to the next opponent. Syracuse Orange, next Saturday, 3:30, Yankee Stadium. It'll be a cool experience. I don't know much about Syracuse, so except their arrival, and they're probably one of my least favorite college football programs, so that's all I'll say about that one. That's all I have for you guys tonight. Sorry if that was a rant. I wanted to keep this quick, but it went to 21 minutes. I don't know how, but yeah, I'm going to stop right here. I'll see you next week for the Syracuse game. Enjoy Pitt men's basketball this week. There's 2 games for them. November the 6th, Monday night against North Carolina A&T. November the 10th, Friday night against Binghamton University. So good luck to the Pitt Panthers men's basketball team this year. I think they'll go like 20-12-ish, maybe 18-13-ish. Get an NIT bid this year, so that'd be nice for sure for Pitt. I'm excited to see them. Sorry to burp. Excited to see the Panthers men's basketball team. How I'm going to do men's basketball, I'm not going to do a game day and a pregame and postgame for every game. Probably once a week or once every other week I will do. For the first couple weeks, like the first... for these first 2 weeks, I'll probably do once every other week, once every 5 games, a recap of how they've gone. But once we get into ACC play, I'll probably do every 2, 3, maybe 4 games. But there will be coverage on them. It's going to be limited to start still because I'm still busy with football. But once football ends and we get closer to the tournaments and stuff like that, there will be much more. So keep an eye out for that. That's for sure. Good luck to both the Panthers men's and women's basketball teams this year. So yeah, keep an eye on them, and I will be giving coverage on those games somewhat soon, so keep an eye out for that. Anyway, though, I'll see you next week for the Syracuse game. Have a good one. Enjoy this evening. Remember to turn your clocks back. Take care. Enjoy that extra hour of sleep. Pray for Israel, and as always, peace. See you next week for Syracuse.